Hiya and welcome back to the channel. So honestly, I've been a bit surprised and just really happy that my previous video has been getting lots of views and lots of comments. I don't think I honestly really thought anyone would watch it. So again, if you did watch it, thank you very much. And if you haven't seen the first part of this video, please go check it out. It's called House Renovation Spain. So in my last video, you saw me rip apart my new home, turn it into something, I guess, slightly more cozy. And now you've all been asking me one thing that I guess I just can't hide anymore. The real numbers, the actual cost of my renovation. Yep, the dirty little secrets of my wallet. And trust me, my wallet's been screaming almost half as much as myself at a Backstreet Boys concert. So stick around because I'm going to break down every cost, the labor, the materials, the furniture, and all the little bits and bobs that made me, I guess, cry a little inside. Although hopefully you'll see that it wasn't too bad and it could have been way, way worse. So stick around for the cost breakdown coming up. Right, so here we go. Let's start with the heavy stuff, the labor plus the building materials, and also we'll talk about all the workers that came along. I think overall there were 4 guys working at any given moment. And again, as I said, the building materials are going to be included in this price. So things like cement, plaster, plumbing tubes, sand, I guess the boring stuff that kind of keeps the house standing. So I'm going to cover first the costs that focused around labor and actually bringing the workers in. And then I'll talk about some of the material costs and then what I spent on things like appliances and furniture. Now, just a reminder of what we actually did in the house before I tell you how much I paid. So we painted the front of the house. We tiled the front entrance. Once inside, we removed those 2 ceiling arches. There's one in the kitchen and one by the stairs that were in the living room. We removed the old kitchen, which was a disaster, and also the American bar area. We built a downstairs toilet. We put down a porcelain wood effect floor, the skirting boards, everything, which was roughly 45 square meters. That was all the way to the back, to the laundry room of the ground floor. We installed a new kitchen, plus all the kitchen walls needed to be retiled. We reworked all the downstairs plumbing, put flooring down on all 3 flights of stairs, the actual stairs themselves. We put the laminado wood effect, the kind of click-clack flooring on the 2nd floor and on the 3rd floor, which was about 60 square meters. We rebuilt and removed a wardrobe in the master bedroom. We put in a new toilet, the cabinets and everything in the upstairs bathroom. We fully painted the inside walls of the house, the living room, the bedrooms, the hallway. There was more stuff, I'm sure, that they did, but honestly, that was all the major stuff. So the drum roll, please, to do all this cost me for the labor 8,000 euros. Then I had to hire a van to bring the flooring, the tiles from Brico and from Leroy Merlin. I think it was 4 trips in total. So that was like an extra 500. So yes, labor, transport was 8,500 euros. Now that is basically enough money to fly to Las Vegas and watch Backstreet Boys in concert. Now in hindsight, I'm not sure which would have been a better choice, but it's too late now anyway. Let's move across to the doors and cabinets I had painted. So the doors and cabinets primed and painted with 3 coats because apparently only 1 coat is for amateurs. Now, that was 2 bedroom wardrobes painted, the long set of drawers in the main bedroom. There were 6 doors, and also that includes the door frames. Now, including the paint that came with the price, the labor, everything, the guys charged me 1,500 euros. Now, I honestly don't remember the breakdown of each thing they painted, but I do remember that the doors were around 120 to 130 each, including the frame. The cabinets, the wardrobes, that was kind of just a total price. So I'm not really sure individually what that would have cost. It's certainly cheaper than buying it all new. And I must admit, I was blown away with how they turned out. I think they look absolutely incredible. Those cabinets were basically looking more seductive than a smash hits poster. All right, so let's jump into the electrical side of things. So to have an electrician come out and rewire the main fuse box so that the kitchen, the laundry room, and the living room were all on independent fuses, with new wiring and tubes going under the floor and everything, that was a good price. That cost me 550 euros, and that included the materials, the wires, the tubes, the fuses. Then I had the same electrician change all the lights throughout the house. Now, they changed all the light switches, they changed all the light switch frames to black ones, which were a little bit more expensive. Now, that cost me 1,000 euros. But again, that included the material. The actual light switches, plug sockets, etc. were included in that price. And there were a lot of them, 50, 60 or so. I can't remember exactly how many, but it was a lot. I also had him add 5 new plug sockets along the walls. So that again was in that price. So that means on the electrical side of things with the electrician, including materials, 1,550. And I'd easily say 70% of that price was just on the material. So honestly, I thought it was a great price. I may be wrong, you'll have to let me know in the comments, but I really, really did think, and it makes all the world a difference to have your electricity set up properly, especially in these older houses. Onto the flooring and the window I had to buy. So from now on, I'm just going to be talking in this following sections about the cost I paid for the actual materials. Okay, so the labor stuff we've covered. This is actually what I spent on buying the actual material. So the living room window with the shutter was 170 euros from Leroy Merlin. I thought it was a great price. The floors upstairs, the wood effect, that was 700 euros, including all the mat and the stuff you put underneath it, the skirting board, the silicone, etc. The floor, I think, was 9 euros a square meter to buy. I think I still got 5 boxes left over, to be honest, which you need a few left over. The living room the porcelain wood effect floor was 10 euros a square meter, skirting boards, bits and bobs, etc. That was about 600 euros for all that. The wooden wall panels that we had in the kitchen to make that small little divider wall was 180. So a total was 1,650. Right, let's jump into the kitchen. So the kitchen cabinets I bought from Leroy Merlin. I bought a set, it was a prefabricated set, it was already done, it wasn't made to measure. If I'm not mistaken, the kitchen set was called Tokyo, plus the worktop I needed, and I paid for everything about 1,000 euros. Remember, the installation has been covered by the builders. After that, I needed to buy things like an oven, which was 250, fridge 350, extractor fan 200, sink 90, tap 80, microwave 70, other appliances 70, plates and glasses 100. So a total for the kitchen was around 2,210 euros, which is great because now I've got this wonderful kitchen and I get to sit there every night and look at it basically while I'm eating my takeaway. So yeah, what's the point in that? Okay, now obviously I needed to buy new furniture for the house. So the blue dining chairs I bought from Amazon, I bought 6 and that was 180 euros. The outdoor table and seating for the front yard was 500 euros from Jysk, I think it's pronounced, Jysk. Sofa was 900 euros. TV from MediaMarkt was 320. 2 single beds from Amazon was 100 euros for both of them. Mattresses was 150 for both as well. I got a double lift up storage bed, which was 350 from Conforama. Curtains, decorations, I bought from Temu, which was 500 euros for all the, nice little bits of things we put to decorate the house, things on the wall, the pictures. So all in all, on furniture, I think it was roughly 3,000 1,000 euros that we spent. Onto the upstairs bathroom. Now, I didn't need to do a lot here. I just needed to change a couple of bits and pieces. I didn't do any major work in the upstairs bathroom, but the sink and cabinet there cost me 225 euros. The toilet, that was for upstairs and downstairs, 220. There was a curtain door on the downstairs bathroom that was 100 euros, which was pretty cool actually. And the mirror, other bits and pieces, around 150. So I think a total of about 695 euros I spent there. I guess nothing says class like spending money on somewhere you basically spend most of your time alone. But yeah, first world problems, I guess. Onto the outdoor garden. So we had the fake grass put down from a company here, which I absolutely love it, and I think the quality is incredible. It was 700 euros for the material, for the floor leveling, for the installation. This was done by Paddy Gardening, so do jump onto Facebook, check them out, because honestly, I was over the moon with their work. They're a couple of fantastic guys. There was a lot of random bits and bobs too. So things like at the laundry room, we put a back door, that was 350. The aircon was 550, which was from Leroy Merlin. That included the machine and installation. And then there was just a load of bits and bobs along the way, from the chino, from running around, which I spent about 900 on. These are the things you don't really think about until you spend money on them, you know, tiny luxuries, questionable purchases. Basically, I don't know, I think it's like retail therapy for adults who just renovated a house. Right, so the grand total and reflection. Here we go, drum roll please. The grand total for turning this place into a cozy Spanish haven with a wonderful rooftop I can sit out on was 21,605. Although I am sure there's probably a few more thousand that I've missed out along the way. It wasn't the easiest thing to really keep track of. Yeah, I did spend more than I expected, but don't you always? I thought I could have done it for a little bit less, but I don't know. Overall, I think what I paid was actually the right price. It's an investment after all. Also, it's somewhere that I need to be happy to stay and make my home for myself, for my family. So if anyone out there wants to chat more or wants to be put in direct contact with any of the builders or the electricians or anyone I use, please do message me on Instagram. My ID there is Rick Meets World. I'm more than happy to help out, as I think personally, I just hate the thought of anyone out there getting ripped off, especially if you're a retiree or even just someone trying to start a new life in the sun. I think a lot of us here, we don't really have that endless pot of gold. So if in any way I can help, I truly would be more than happy to. Thanks again for watching. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Let me know if there's any other videos about the area that you'd like me to film. And yeah, so I bid you adios from Orihuela Costa here in Spain. Thanks again, everyone.